So I know some of you have heard about this. The French actor Gérard Depardieu saying pas du tout. That means not at all to a proposed super tax on millionaires in France. He's one of them. He said, forget it. I am leaving. He fled the country. He's going somewhere else. In fact, all kinds of countries are getting excited and offering him citizenship, including Russia. But are some businesses in the U.S. now the Gérard Depardieu of the business world? Well, now that the medical device tax has become reality, we may have some companies that are following in Gérard Depardieu's footsteps. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is Cyberonics President and CEO Daniel Moore. He's also the chairman of Medical Device Manufacturer Association, so he speaks for hundreds of these medical device companies, and we overstate it with the Gérard Depardieu. You're still very much based in the U.S., but you are dipping your toe in another country due to what could very well be a very comfortable tax situation. And let's first talk about that. Where are you breaking ground? It is the first time your company ever has broken ground in this regard. Where is it and why?
Well, that is true. We're a 25-year-old company, and for the first time in our 25-year history, we are going outside the United States to create a manufacturing facility. And unfortunately, that's been brought about partially because of the medical device tax. This medical device tax is not good for American jobs. It's not good for innovation. And most important, it is not good for patient care. If you combine this medical device tax with other taxes we already pay as a corporation, the tax rates just become onerous, and we had to do something to start to decrease our overall tax impact. And specifically what we're doing is creating manufacturing outside the United States.
In fact,
and we're not alone in doing that. Other companies are doing that as well.
You're going to Costa Rica. You are setting up in Costa Rica.
We are. For our first 25 years, we've made all of the product for the world here in the U.S., and we are setting up our first manufacturing facility in Costa Rica.
Okay, we have this picture we made of Uncle Sam pointing, instead of saying, I want you, he's pointing to Costa Rica, because in a way you're arguing that this tax, which by the way we should let people know is what, about as I understand it, 2.3% tax on gross sales of all the medical device makers, whether you make a profit. I mean, you might not be profitable, but nonetheless, you will be having that excise tax on you, and you feel that the tax structure is better in Costa Rica. What is it about Costa Rica that you like so much?
Well, overall, when we look at the tax burden that we're facing, we have to do something to lower that tax burden. And as you pointed out, this is a 2.3% tax, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that is 2.3% on revenues, not profitability.
Right.
So it's stifling innovation as well for some of our member companies, because they have to, in addition to getting a return on the capital eventually to break even, they have to do that with this, with the burden of this new tax. So in our case, it's just a manufacturing situation, but for others, it hits R&D as well.
You have argued, as chairman of the Medical Device Maker Association, that really it squeezes innovation and it squeezes research and development. But let me just press you one more point here. And I did a little bit of research since 1987 when Baxter International went into Costa Rica. What is it that you're getting out of Costa Rica? What's so great about their tax structure?
Well, I think we're getting a government that's working with us on tax, and I think our government, fortunately, we've gotten a lot of support from both the House and the Senate that this medical device tax is bad, and that we need to do something to repeal that device tax. And I think we can get there in the next couple of months, but this tax has already cost thousands of jobs in the last year, and it's expected to cost tens of thousands of jobs in this coming year. So whatever we can do to lessen the impact of the tax burden and be creating jobs in an economy where I think the President and Congress agrees we need to grow the economy, we need to grow jobs, particularly U.S. manufacturing jobs, and that's what we're about, creating manufacturing
you guys are.
jobs.
You as medical device makers, and I follow you, my dad was a surgeon, he used to talk about you guys all the time, specifically very, very innovative. You have to be. You have to take chances when it comes to medical devices. But let me play devil's advocate, and I only do this because I've interviewed other medical device makers. Omar Ishrak of Medtronic, one of the biggest pure play guy. You know, he said, we'll deal with it. We have to. I know they're bigger, certainly bigger, but you look at your stock, for example. In the past year, you are up more than 55%. Most of the medical device guys have done pretty well because they figure that with millions added to the insurance rolls, and maybe we can show your stock over the past year, with millions added to the insurance rolls, it'll wash over the 2.3% excise tax, that you will get so many more customers for your products, which in your case are well, you make the neurological devices. In so many cases, more people will be demanding your product.
That has not proven to be the case, and we don't expect it to be the case going forward. I think this is, when looking at what happened here in the case of Massachusetts, where there was universal care provided for all citizens, as a medical device industry, we did not see an increase. Most patients that use our devices are covered by Medicare, and what we're talking about with this policy is younger patients who typically are healthier and don't need devices. So when we're paying a 2.3% device tax, it has already impacted thousands of jobs. It will impact tens of thousands of jobs going forward. It will impact innovation.
Any chance you will see a repeal? Any chance you'll see a repeal of at least that tax, or at least some type of compromise? You hearing anything about that as we finish up?
Well, we think anything short of a repeal is the wrong move. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we do have support on both the House side. We've had support on the Senate side for a repeal, and we're going to continue to pursue that repeal because that's the right thing to do for American manufacturing. And
you have a whole host of people that are supporting you on that, a whole host of companies. Daniel Moore, Cyberonics CEO and President of the MDMA chair. It's great to see you. Thank you. Closing bell ringing in 30